And welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Jibberish.
Jack Luffman.
Firstly, I think we'll start with a big thank you to the supply teacher for last week.
Yeah.
Just like all supply teachers, I can't remember a single word he said or what was actually going on, but a big thank you anyway.
He was in the room, that's all we're going to say.
Yeah, he was a presence. He was an adult in the room.
Yeah.
So well done, Jack.
Thanks.
I'm only joking. Well, thank you very much, Larks.
Always there for need him, isn't he?
Yes, what a guy. Absolute ledge. But this week, a little bit of football, a little bit of boxing, the old bat and ball thing.
Test match cricket.
And I will confirm, I will deny the rumour. I do actually like rugby. I don't like the league games. I think they're boring, but I do like the internationals. Yeah. Just to clarify that, Larks, I do like a little bit of beg chasing from time to time.
Very good.
We will start with our sporting...
Yeah, let me start first, because last week you weren't here.
I wasn't here, that's correct.
Because you were still back in the UK, and we said, didn't we, that the reason you couldn't get on wasn't obviously because we've done across countries before via Zoom, but you were busy with your youngest, Bella, who was at the Junior World Dance Championships in Blackpool. Of all the places, bless it could have been.
I can tell you now, it would have been an eye-opener for some of the Emirati families.
So, anyway, I know what's gone on. People might have seen, but tell us what actually got on, because it's fantastic.
It was really bizarre, because it actually started on the Thursday, where she did her duos dance. Yeah. Went really well with Lily. Unfortunately, she didn't make the final for that one.
That's a scandal, by the way.
But we couldn't work out what was going on. But I think there's an element of, and I think you used the word nepotism.
Nepotism, yes.
Which Ian doesn't know, which basically means favouritism, Ian. So they were looking after their own type of thing. So the judges are actually people that go out to the camps and work with the students. So there was an element of that aspect. And I'm not just saying this because of my daughter, but there was a couple of other groups that I saw didn't make it through, and I was a bit surprised. Solos, then we went into the teams on the Friday, which if you finished in the top three on the teams, you automatically went through to the final. Everybody else then had to dance off again in the semis. And I can tell you now, we watched them, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to make the top three here. But this team from Belgium were just on point. They just absolutely smashed it. I was like, they have got to be the favourites to win it. Anyway, thankfully we finished in the top three, moved all the way to Sunday for the final. It's really bizarre because you end up waiting around for like 3 or 4 hours to watch the 3-minute dance, and then you wait another hour, and there's another 3-minute dance. It's a bit like swimming galas; they're painful, but really good when it's going on. But I suppose unlike swimming gala, the dances are pretty decent. And then on the Saturday was solos. She didn't manage to get through in the solos, and again there was people in the solos. It seemed like if you look like you're having a heart attack or a fit or being electrocuted, you made it through.
A street dance.
But I was thinking I've got a good chance because I've got absolutely no coordination. I just throw out some kung fu moves and I've got a good chance of making it through. There was genuinely this ginger kid there, and I have no idea what he did. He looked like he tried to karate kick the judges every time they walked past, but he made it through. So every credit. And if you coordinated and danced with a little bit of structure, they kind of knocked you out. So a couple of hours went out in there, and then obviously we got through to the final. So the final, massive room, there must be a couple of hundred people in there. And in the final, the 5th team to dance out of 7. And they came on, and I joke you not, they were on point. They absolutely nailed every single part, everything was sharp, it was on point. So much better than the time before. So I was like, wow, they've got to finish top 3 here. Belgian team came on after them. They weren't as sharp. Mm-hmm. And then there was this Scottish team. The Scottish team must have had about 30 people in their group. So it was just, your eyes were everywhere. Anyway, they did the announcement. 7th came up, 6th, 5th, 4th. And I was like, still haven't been called out. 3rd would be great. 3rd was the Belgians. Mm-hmm. And they dropped that far that they'd gone to 3rd. And it was just literally, they had both teams off stage and then they announced 2nd place. So at that point, the whole room went off. So yeah, Bella's team were announced champions. So we have a world champion in our household, which Bella's reminded Harry every day that she's a world champion.
She did show me a gold medal, world champion gold medal, and the reaction video.
Yeah, so she has this thing, she does this W, I do the C, and then she does the loser sign to Harry. So yeah, at the moment, she just reminds Harry I'm world champion.
Great experience from all that.
Oh, unbelievable. Both have had a great summer. I've mentioned Harry's been Lincoln, America. Bella's been dancing in Blackpool. It's not quite the same level as America, but...
next time.
All in all, yeah.
Very good. And last night you got back on the training pitch after your injury.
Yeah, so I'm
And
5 weeks since the op. I went back to the gym a couple of times and I thought I'm going to go and gamble. Anyway, went through, a bit rusty. A couple of times where I looked to extend out and it just felt a little bit uneasy, so I just backtracked. But it was good. Got we are now a training session, but good 40 minutes under my belt, working hard. But yeah, good to be back on the pitch.
Very good.
You were training as well?
Yeah, we had training. So Clint's actually been running it, I think probably 4 or 5 weeks now, indoors, obviously. So I went last night. But
you were indoor? Oh my goodness, we were outdoors.
Yeah, we were indoors.
Sweat fest.
There's no facilities outdoors at the minute, like training facilities, because it's like too hot really. But yeah, it's good to have loads in it because some of our players are still aren't back from wherever they've been around the world. So basically, there was me, Clint, and then all the new boys really, which is good. A good young lad, both left arm with spin and wax it, so that's good. They used to be called left arm Chinaman, but you can't use that terminology anymore. So left arm with spin, but yeah, it's good. But my finger's still really sore. Look at it.
There's nothing wrong with it. Show the camera. I bet they can't see anything. Although it does look a bit fat at the bottom there, doesn't it?
It's not right. Anyway, we'll be going. So yeah, looking good, and we've got 2 friendlies lined up, 3rd and the 10th of September, and we start a league campaign on the 17th. All
right, we've got no friendlies coming, but I think we're starting now. But I think everybody's back for the 1st of September. That's when our official pre-season starts. We're just doing 6 and 5 sides at the moment. Good
to get back into it. Good to get back into routine, and of course we're back at work.
Yes, that's why I'm dressed as I am.
No, he's not been to court. He's actually been to work first day. Yeah. I've been to work since Tuesday.
And look at how he's dressed as well.
Dressed down Friday at
What kind of shambles school is that?
Beautiful.
Dressed for business.
Staff wellbeing.
Yeah, okay.
All over the staff wellbeing.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. But yeah, so that's where we're at. There's no challenges at the moment because we've both just arrived back in the countries, but we will be picking that up. We have got archery and paddle tennis lined up.
Yep.
Indoor bowls is also on the agenda.
And we've got the quiz to do.
We've got Charlie's quiz as well at some point. So we've got at least 4 more challenges to do, and now the season's starting to pick back up.
I'm sure we'll be able to get some more things in and around.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. But we'll go with the cricket to start with. We'll go with the cricket. So at the moment, as we stand, we're waiting for, is it day 3 to start?
Day 3 starts.
Day 3 to start.
In an hour or so.
They've held out with the bat yesterday.
Yeah, first day got interrupted 116 for 6, and they managed to get to 165, which is, let's not beat around the bush, not good enough. Right. That said, on day 1, with the truncated day, with the weather around, it was a good toss to win at Lords, and they got done. There's a lot of this talk about baseball and all that. There's only really, I would say, Leeds and Bairstow, I would say you could be really critical at the type of shot they play, but they could have played that shot. Baseball or no baseball, other than that, South Africa, bear in mind, are number 1 test match side in the world at the minute, and their bowling attack is outstanding, and just put England under pressure and took the catches, which is massive in a test series in the slips.
Catches win matches.
Correct.
Just on that, South Africa also number 1 at rugby as well.
Yeah. So,
see, Larks, I do pay attention.
And then they managed to get 165. A lot of it revolved around young Pope, but he got 7 which is a good knock for him, to be fair. And then yesterday, I got in from work and turned it on, and they were going on. They were 100 for no wicket, and then they got it back to just over 200 for 6. So back in the game, but then there's a partnership. So I think they've got a lead of over 100 now, with 7 down. So England this morning
just needs to skittle them
out, and then if they can if they can keep that lead to a minimum, and the weather holds out, Lords will be flat. So they're not out of the game. Yeah. If all of a sudden this tail end and Rabada can bat a bit down there. If that wags and it gets to sort of near a 200 lead, then you're struggling to win a test match from there. But we'll see. It's good to see. What I really liked though was Stokes came and led from the front with the ball, so it means he's fully fit again with his league.
So you've got an afternoon of watching cricket?
I think so, a few hours, and then ready for the principal's lunch.
Very nice.
Or dinner this evening at the Scene.
Ooh,
so
very nice.
We'll see what happens there.
Scene's got them little guys, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Neil Watson needs to put them down. Keep picking them up when we go out. Just another interesting, bizarre story. I was in England, in Preston of all places. I'm having a chat with this guy, and he disappears off the back, and he comes out with another bloke, and this bloke goes, "From Dubai." I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Sporting gibberish." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, I've heard about it, sporting gibberish." I was like,
made it.
Absolutely no idea. It turns out it's Larkin's father-in-law.
Yeah, Fred. Yeah. He's one of our regular listeners.
Yeah, so hi Fred.
Yeah, he would have been listening last week to his father-in-law.
Yeah.
To his son-in-law, sorry. Yeah. How did you rate him, Fred? Send us a message.
I thought Fred was ultimate. If you get any problems with HSBC, go and see Fred. Fred's a man. But yeah, very, very, very strange and really put me on my back foot. And Harry was with me, and Harry's like, what? I do know about spoiling Jibberish, but yeah, strange things.
So yeah, anyway, Test match. It's nicely poised actually,
Yeah.
and it'd be some good cricket. I mean, I think we had a bit of a chat last week. You know, they're going to go into September playing Test cricket. The schedule needs sorting.
Yeah, I did listen to aspects of that. That was when I was having my doors off.
Yeah.
But I did listen to your Live Golf. It was interesting what you're saying with regards to that there is a worry that it will dilute. I just think the Saudi money is going to be a big key player. They just really need to sit down and assign seasons. They're probably the best thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the same with the franchise cricket. You just need to get all these heads together, and surely they can all coexist.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
But
I think PGA would end up just cutting the nose off to spite the face the way they're going about
I
things.
think you're right.
But it's not going anywhere because they've got unlimited stash of money there, haven't they?
Exactly.
But right, so big fight this weekend, talking about Saudi.
Yeah.
Joshua versus Usyk, as you call it. So Usyk beat him last time around.
September at White Hart Lane.
Yeah. Joshua is known for his comeback.
Yeah.
But I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm a huge Joshua fan. I think he's done loads for the sport, and a kind of when I thought heavyweight boxing was becoming a bit of a pantomime.
Well, I would say there was no big key marquees. The only one you had was Klitschko.
Yeah.
And he was on his way out.
Yeah.
So the standard wasn't very good.
And Fury was going through his ridiculous stage. If he wasn't careful, I just felt it was going to turn into WWE, a bit pantomime-ish. And Joshua came along, and if you listen to any of the boxing commentators or analysts, changed the face of heavyweight boxing. So a big fan of his. I think he's very humble. I know that's his like hashtag. I'm worried. Yeah. I want him to win. Of course, I want him to win, and I want him to unify because I think if he wins, I think Fury's thing of retirement is utter rubbish. There'll be a massive fight in England, and that'll be it for both of them. I just fear that
he's not going to win. He won't win, and then the Fury fight will never happen.
Yeah, and then where does Joshua go from then? I mean, don't get me wrong. He's financially doesn't need anything, does he? And he'll go into work at Sky and as an analyst.
I don't think he'd want to be like not Wilder, Dillian White type thing, where you just kind of just that almost man.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if he does lose, he's gone out at the top of his game. I know he wasn't going to go out, but he's been a 4-time world champion or whatever. But I want him to win. I just fear that he might have.
Yeah, I think my heart wants to win because I want to see Fury and fight. But I just think that my head says that.
Did you see Usyk in the ring the other day with his 4 coins? Did you see that?
Yeah, where he threw him up and caught all 4. His reactions are unbelievable. But he's just a very, very good boxer and hard as nails.
Yeah. So I don't know, we'll see. I mean, obviously Joshua's changed trainers and all that since then.
And let's be honest, heavyweights, it just takes getting caught once and it's game over.
I mean, that's what happened when he lost his belt to Ruiz, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he just got caught on the top of the head. I don't think he was very well still, and that was enough, wasn't it? Yeah. So let's see, but it is. I mean, because Shell was on about having a bit of a sort of AJ, because I'm a little dodgy stick and get it now. But then, and I was like, it must be
a bit more the morning.
Yeah, because they're actually fighting 10:30 UK time, and not. I thought it'd be more like 11.
So it's
like 1 o'clock.
It's usually in the morning, like 1 o'clock in the morning job, isn't it?
Yes, but it is here.
Because
usually
it's in
America,
Vegas, which means it's 1 o'clock.
So basically, they're keeping to that UK American audience. So 10:30 in the UK, America will be early evening or in the morning, won't it? Depending where. So he must be
1:30,
2 o'clock. Yeah, I think 10:30 ring walks. So here, like 1:30 in the morning. So obviously those boys must be on a different sleep pattern at the minute. But
they're lying themselves.
Come on, AJ. Come on, just bring it home. That's what we need. But we shall see. We shall see.
Yes.
Right. Now I'm assuming you managed to watch the football last week or bits of it amongst your dancing and.
Yeah, I did catch some of the football, so I'm just going to bring up just to remind. So I didn't catch the Villa Everton. I listened to that in the car on the drive back. So good result for Villa, just for the simple fact that they needed to bounce back.
Yeah.
Worrying result for Everton, and let's be honest. I know people say that Everton could have equalised. It could have finished 2-2. We also could have finished 4-1 to Villa because Villa has some absolute sitters at the end.
I think it's worrying. Obviously, the injury to Calvert-Lewin has absolutely stuffed them, hasn't it?
And now Chelsea are sniffing around Gordon.
Why
I don't understand the Gordon thing.
No, I don't.
Because they're on about bringing him as a centre forward.
Yeah, he's not.
He's a winger.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's that good.
And Everton have been trying him up front.
Yeah,
and he still can't score.
Yeah, I think we've had with Lampard. Obviously, that's sort of scuppered him a little bit. So he's had to try and figure it out. The lad who came on as sub on Euro or whatever,
Yeah,
he gave away the ball.
He got caught, but he
created the goal.
When you say he got caught, he went past the first player and then kind of got it stuck on his foot and then had it.
He looks a player to me.
I think he will be. He's one of them that is worth looking at for fantasy football because he'll be able to pick up points.
Yeah. It goes back to, I think Henry's put on our Twitter about Delhi, and I thought that was a good move for Delhi in the window. Frank Lampard, similar kind of players, but Lampard's not played him.
No.
So, and I always said with Delhi, he's not the sort of player that can come on 10, 15 minutes. So you've got to get up to match speed, and the only way you get to match speed is by playing. But now it looks like he's going. So I don't really know what's going on at Everton.
I was going to say to you, is it a case of burnout? Because this guy came onto the scene, was flying. Was it MK Dons?
Yeah.
With, and then he ended up going to you guys. Yeah. Was absolutely on fire. And then under new managers, they've tried to give him a go, not quite worked. They must see some of them training ground, they're not giving an opportunity to play. Moved to Everton, seems to be like there's a chance to rejuvenate in a slightly lesser club.
Yeah, at Everton. The time, yeah.
And that's not looking like it's worked out. So are we at the case of we have seen the best of Dele Alli? And is he 26?
No, 24, I don't think he's that old.
Are we now going to see him potentially? Is it going to be better for him to maybe go and do a stint in a foreign country somewhere
just
like
out of the way.
France?
Well, he's got the best Besiktas, aren't they? Interested, I think. But I'm not sure.
I think that's a place where footballers go to die.
Yeah, it's worrying because, like, from an England point of view, basically he was the blue-eyed boy, wasn't he? Up until part of the 2018 World Cup, he was one of the top men, first name on the team sheet. Since then, he's died off, and I don't know why. You know, people might be his attitude. We don't know enough about it. It's unfair to judge because he likes his fancy clothes and his cars and that. I think it's so wrong to judge that. He seems happy enough, and I follow him on Instagram, like in and around training grounds. He seems happy enough. So I say, is it burnout too much too soon? I don't know, but it's worrying if a player like that is just going to fall off the cliff at the age of 24, 25.
Yeah.
When Everton are in need of that kind of talent.
Yeah, I think he's done and dusted. We've seen the best of Delhi, unfortunately. So Henry, to answer your question, Delhi is done.
Oh.
Right, I'll quickly look through. I'm going to say one of these scores to the end. Brighton 0, Newcastle 0. I think Newcastle will look at that and maybe could have got something there.
Pope had an absolute world.
But Pope's had a great game, so Brighton will probably come away from that more disheartened than anything else.
Talk me through Forest trying to buy Neil Maupay, by the way, for 16 million.
I don't understand it at all.
If I was Brighton, snap your hand off.
Not a proven goal scorer in the Premier League. Picks up goals, but usually from penalties.
Yeah, and scores 2 in a game and doesn't score for 7 weeks.
Yeah. Man City 4, Bournemouth 0, as expected.
Don't believe it.
Other than the fact that Haaland didn't score.
Yeah. He should have probably been given an opportunity to score.
Well, Foden should have squared it, shouldn't he? That's cost me in fancy football, isn't it?
Yeah, well done, folks. Good lad.
Yeah, cheers, Foden. Southampton 2, Leeds 2. I think you guys predicted it right. I think you had it as a draw.
Yeah.
I think Leeds will be disappointed going 2-0 up. Southampton will be overjoyed. Substitutes made the difference.
Yeah.
So
that Armstrong looks half decent.
Yeah, I worried about Southampton with the fact that they let Ings go. Brozier went back. Well, I know Ings went the season before, but then they brought Brozier in, who seemed to hit the ground running. And I was like, where are they going to get the goals from now? But
I don't know. I still think it might be their year. You know, like we talked about Burnley last year and they finally went.
Yeah.
I think Southampton could be on there, particularly if, you know, like Fulham had a decent start and look, if Mitrovic can score goals in the Premiership, they'll be fine.
Yeah, well, he didn't score on Saturday.
No, he didn't.
And Wolves, again, he's injured again.
He should have been sent off as well, I think, Mitrovic.
Yeah, but Jimenez is not playing alone, is it?
Yeah,
so Hwang's up top, but he's not scoring.
No.
So that could be Wolves' biggest downfall, not being able to score from there. And then the two ones I want to talk about from the Saturday fixtures is Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. statement of intent there against a decent Leicester team. Could have capitulated at 3-0, 3-1, could have gone to 3-2 and then re-establishing the lead, winning 4-2. Dead bizarre is Jesus, great start to game, scores 2 good goals. His first one, have you seen? Yeah. The first one where he's I know there's a slight deflection and he lifts it over, but what a great finish. And then potentially misses 2 easy chances.
Yeah, he should have probably had a hat-trick, shouldn't he? They look, I think when we said on Monday or whatever, I came for a coffee, that they've started well, they look decent. I would still think that their strength in depth is what's going to potentially cost them. And it will be interesting to see what he does in the cup competitions, because clearly top 4 is going to be a priority, I would imagine. So with that squad of players, he's not going to be able to play his best team in like the Europa League, FA Cup and League Cup. So it'll be interesting to see what he does there, I think. Because if he tries to win one of those other cup competitions, that it could fall foul, I think.
Yeah.
But certainly started well, and Jesus is looking good.
Looks a different player, doesn't he? And then the result, bizarrely, Larkin actually said 2-0 Brentford.
Yeah.
He wasn't far off. He was halfway there. 4-0 Brentford. And for me, I watched this game and I watched it at home in England on the telly. And I just couldn't understand the thought process of what they were doing. So, defender split wide, Ericsson comes to get the ball off one of the centre halves when the goalkeeper plays it out. But even dead bizarrely, one of the centre halves was taking the goal kick sometimes, playing to the goalkeeper, then pick the next pass. So they played it into Maguire the first time. He tried to play it to Ericsson. Ericsson gets caught on the ball, but nothing happens from it. Then the keeper sees somebody right of Ericsson's back, plays it into Ericsson again, and then tries to go across to Maguire, gets caught, he scores. But as a professional footballer, if you've tried it once and it's not worked, surely then you're going, right, well, we just need to play a little bit longer and get up the pitch, because they were pressing so high. But they didn't learn from that mistake, and then they tried it again, got caught. So one is, mistakes being made, is that because Ten Hag has said to them, regardless of what happens, I want you to play through this player. And if he's going with that narrow-minded attitude, every Premiership team is going to pick them off and score loads of goals from that aspect. Or is it just complacency where they don't know what they're doing and they're just told to keep the ball short?
I think it's probably a combination of both. I can't believe that. I didn't know a lot about is it Martinez, the centre half? He's 5 foot nothing.
Tiny.
Like,
he's been caught in the ball a few times.
Yeah, if you're a Man United fan, you must be tearing your hair out. Ten Hag, I wasn't overly convinced of it. So, when Spurs look at him, 2 years ago, maybe now, or 18 months ago, and I was like, I wasn't convinced about it. And then when you read about it, and the fact he's achieved in the what they call it, Eredivisie or whatever. And since he's got appointed, I've not been impressed with his press conferences. I've not been impressed with his signings, what they're linked with. Certainly, I actually thought, because I still think that on paper, I still think the squad's okay.
Yeah.
And I actually thought, I think we said that they might, unfortunately, because of Man United, they might pull 1 or 2 more in. They might be pushing for top 4. But they just look an absolute mess, don't they?
I think the issue is that Ten Hag's come and he's gone with team ethics. He wants the team morale. He wants it all about the team. So I think the sooner he gets rid of Ronaldo, it's going to be better for them. But team aspect. But even now, players like Frankie de Jong a couple of years ago, would he have turned Man United down?
That's the problem, isn't it? And they're looking at players I've never heard of now.
Yeah, well, the other one was the French guy, Albiol, semi-fielder, who was good 3 years ago. Yeah. And a bit like Ericsson, and I've said this before, is that Ericsson's not his prime, he's past his prime, he's still a good player.
Yeah.
But he's not going to win the Premiership.
And also, he's not a holding midfielder player like he tried to play him on Saturday.
No, so I'm a little bit confused on what's going on. But
I think it's funny, man.
The fans at the moment are blaming the Glaziers. But, Glaziers have done something to your club, but you've lost Woodward, and your new director of football, I can't remember what his name
Richard
is.
somebody in it.
I saw him the other day. You've got to be looking at them appointments and going, right, well, why are we buying these players? Because you bought Varane, at the time was one of the best French football, one of the best centre-halves in the world, played at Real Madrid. Then
Where is he?
He's on the bench. No, he's on the bench. You've got Lindelof, it's not a bad centre-half. Yeah. Maguire's just gone to pot for a little bit. Now you've got this Martinez, this 5'3" centre half that, how on earth are you going to beat Haaland in the air? Haaland's just going to put his hand on his head.
The thing is with that, but that's only 4 good centre halves. So, like I said, fundamentally, I think they've got a half decent squad.
Oh,
there's
there's
just something, and I'll point back to it, and probably we'll move on after this. But point back to it, and I know we killed Ollie, didn't we? On the podcast, we killed him. But towards the end of not last season, the previous season, he got something going. They got to the Europa League final.
Yeah.
At the beginning of last season, pre-season, the first couple of games, I thought you could see how they wanted to play and who he wanted to play. Go young. I know he only had Cavani as his centre striker, Martial, and then he had, Sanchez, Rashford, Greenwood at that time. Obviously, he's going to be no more. But you could see what he was trying to do. And then all of a sudden, somebody, and I don't think it's Ollie, has signed Ronaldo. And since that point, they've gone to pot.
Yeah, right.
Maguire, gone to pot. Why? Because I think in that dressing room, Ronaldo is a bully.
Yeah, well these were Jack's thoughts. Not responsible for sporting gibberish at all.
And actually, carry on being that because it's funny.
Right.
See a Man United fault.
Well, who doesn't like a Man United loss? But we'll park that one there. We'll move to Sunday.
Yeah.
Forest beat West Ham 1-0.
Yeah.
West Ham will sit there going, how have we lost this game? Missed penalty, plenty of chances.
Henderson's had a good game, hasn't he?
And Forest have just nipped up the other end and scored. And then was the Battle of the Bridge 2.
Yeah. What a game.
Call it. Decent game. Chelsea, I feel, will come away thinking this is 2 points lost.
100%.
Spurs will come away going, that's 1 point gained.
Yeah.
Because on the most of it, Chelsea were dominant in the fact that they had the ball more. Maybe not as many chances they probably would have wanted to create. But again, is that lack of striker going to cost them and cause them problems? One goal came from a centre-half volley, which was...
It was a good... I don't know what we're doing.
What a finish.
On marking, but what a finish.
It was like, it's only Cullenbarr, we'll just leave him free. And then Wizzy won in top bins. And then it literally came down to almost the last kick of the game. Ball gets put in. Harry Kane in there. Boom.
Yeah.
And he goes, I thought Richarlison had scored first because he ran off so big.
Yeah.
It was kind of clustered 3 people into that area.
But,
and Richarlison ran off like he scored. And he realised, it wasn't me. And then he looked back, who scored? And then he hugs Kane.
No.
And then even more so, without even going into the divulging the game and what's gone in the game, because Havertz could have got sent off for being a tool.
Yeah.
And then the managers seemed to have a little... It seemed like the assistant coach had a little bit to do to start with. And then I thought Thomas Tuchel just was an absolute... I thought it was a plant pot for running down past him.
Yeah, well, he should have been second book for that, shouldn't he?
So, by the rules, is if you lead your technical area, that's a yellow card, and he'd already been booked that point. But it was a deliberate run past Conte to let him know that it's got... And then when they equalised, Conte didn't do anything.
He just went down the tunnel.
Well, when he just kind of went and looked over at Tuchel's direction. But to be fair, Spurs were celebrating in that corner anyway. And at the end of the game, I thought Conte didn't do anything wrong. It was a handshake. They went to walk away, and then he grabbed hold of it and wouldn't let go of him. You need to look into my eyes. Why? Are we making love?
Yeah. I hope not. Not in who's having the fight? Conte's having him every day of the week and goes to a fight.
Thomas Tuchel. You see the size of Thomas Tuchel. He's like as big as Harry. You know.
Conte was snapping him off.
When he's running down, I think he's drain pipe legs. I'm like...
You see Conte on his Instagram, say, good job I didn't see that, so I'll trip you up.
Yeah.
Like, tongue-in-cheek, that's funny. Because to be fair, after the game, I thought the both of them were really good guys.
Yeah,
it's what it is.
Yeah, tongue-in-cheek. Yeah. You get people heating around.
Yeah.
I just thought Tuchel just took it a bit too far.
Yeah, he was just trying to be... That was frustration at referee, the result, is the size lack of finishing.
Have you heard that they've got 10,000 people have signed the petition to make... Is it Andy Taylor?
Yeah.
It's Andy Taylor not to referee another Chelsea game.
Did you see that Mike Dean he's writing a column in the Daily Mail?
And he's now doing VAR?
Yeah, said that he's, having looked at the footage again, he should have asked Taylor to go to the monitor, for the hair pull, for violent conduct, but he couldn't give a free kick.
But the problem is that they can't, because it was a second yellow card. There's no doubt about that. It should have been a second yellow card, so he's not seen it. But VAR's ruling is only if it's a red card offence. Yeah. And I don't think it's a direct red.
I don't think
it's a definite yellow. Because it's probably a Matt ordered amber.
Yeah.
Or a blue card.
It's naughty.
Yeah. But he can't refer according to the rules that they've got. In retrospect, you look back at it, he should have been referred to and gone, have a look at this, give him a second yellow and then a red.
Yeah. But it still wouldn't have altered the fact.
They scored off it.
Because the ball was dead, so it wouldn't have been a free kick.
No, but I think he should have been sent off. Yeah, Romero with the dark arts, because I said to Harry when I was watching the game, Havertz caught Romero. Yeah. I said to Harry, I went, next tackle, Romero catch him, and he waited, and it was almost like the ball came across. He slowed down ever so slightly. Havertz going to get there, bang, just took the lot.
Did you see when we scored in Reece James's face?
No. What was it?
He's injured though.
Romero?
For a couple of weeks, yeah.
Well,
But he's good. But yeah, from a Spurs point of view, I think that, as you said, I think that's a game. Probably actually, even when in the Poch era, when we're probably at our best in the recent time, I'm not sure we're getting a draw there. I think we'd have given
Showed a bit of steel and resilience.
Yeah, which is Conte all over, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we flipped to Monday night. And you guys had it down, Liverpool win, Palace are in a world of trouble. I just didn't realise up until that point, when the squads were announced, I was doing a little bit of a look at it, is how bad Liverpool's injury list is already.
Yeah, and I think I said to you that I didn't watch it when I saw the teams out, so I was like, there's no depth on that bench at the minute.
Well, I knew Canante was out injured, but I didn't know how long for. I didn't realise Matip had gone. Gomez has just come back from an illness, so he started with Phillips. I just think it was just a bit out of his depth that game, because he's just not comfortable on the ball like the other centre halves are. And just not quick.
And your man Diaz, no, not Diaz, Nunes,
he'd lost his head, and I think Jurgen Klopp came out straight afterwards and went, look, and I like the honesty. It's not that I've not seen it, and he just went, there's no arguing. It's a red card. He needs to learn from that, because every centre half now, from this point forward, in the back, little niggles, elbows, pushing. I'd do exactly the same. If I knew there was a centre forward I'm playing against that was likely to spit his dummy and react like that, and it could gain us an advantage, I'd do exactly the same.
Because there's a compilation on social media of what Anderson did all game. And nothing, just the odd little tap on the ankle. It's
experienced centre halves, but he needs to be, I know he's only 23, he needs to be.
And I actually think that looking at him, I think he could be really good for you. Because he's powerful and strong and he can finish.
I just worry, and I said this, he just looks a little bit erratic at the moment. Just almost needs to.
Or maybe that might calm him down a bit.
He just needs to settle down a bit. You don't need to try and bust it. Because he had two opportunities he should have scored. I know the one that hit the post, the defender gets a slight touch on it, which moves onto the post, but I just think he looks a little erratic. So there was another one where I think he got a shot off, but it looked like it was going wide anyway. But then from that point when we went down 10 men, we looked the better team.
I did read that.
Diaz was just another level the second half. He was quiet first half. Mo Salah's been quiet since we started the season. But then, like you're saying, is Carvalho a good potential young and up and coming player? We've got no Thiago now. Henderson doesn't seem to be quite as sharp and as fit. Jota's out injured. Matip's out injured. And the Liverpool fans now calling for Liverpool, and it's 4-1 to get Bellingham.
Yeah, so I think he's a good player, mate.
I think he'd be a great buy, but Liverpool are not known for getting two key signings in one transfer window.
But they're going to looking at that, and no disrespect, I love Milner and that, but like I say, is Henderson coming toward the end? And Firmino, it depends how big his injury is.
Injured as well.
And Thiago's injury, they need some, don't they?
Yeah, it's now looking, because then there was like calling for another striker, but again, it's almost like I wouldn't invest in a new striker, because when you've got all four back,
and you score goals from wide areas anyway.
Right. I'd be a little bit hesitant about getting a striker, but a midfielder going for Bellingham at 19, I'm thinking is a great investment, because you then got your future midfielder. You've got Bellingham, Harvey Elliott, Carvalho.
But Bellingham would be good. And I've said he looks class. I think he's done all right for England when he's played.
Yeah.
And as we've said before, I'm not sure how good Bundesliga players are, so I'd like to see him in the Premiership.
Yeah, it would be good, but my worry, and I said this to you, is that's 2 points out of 2 games. There's a 4
gap to City.
4 points difference already to City. And I said to you the other day, in order to win it, guaranteed to win, Liverpool and City need to be pushing 100 points.
Exactly, and because all of a sudden now, you're more than a winner outside them already after 2 games.
Yeah.
Other sides like your Arsenal's, or Arsenal's same, but they'll drop points. But other competitors, Chelsea, Spurs, you play and you win, you're back in the hunt. But it's City, they'll just go on the merry. I can see that happening actually a little bit now, is that City will just go on the merry way and everybody else will probably kind of beat each other in inverted commas. But we'll see.
But the interesting one is this weekend it's Liverpool United.
On
Monday night
again
at Old Trafford. So both teams not in the greatest shape, and Liverpool more so with regards to their injury worries, what team they're going to put out. United more so the fact that they have no potential system, and if they go with that same playing the ball out from the back against a Liverpool team which is known for the Gengham press, they'll rip them apart.
If Liverpool start like they did there last year, or like we know Liverpool can start games, I fear for Man United.
Yeah,
Massively.
I think for United, I think it's turned up a good time because Liverpool haven't got a settled team.
And also, if they're struggling for a little bit of and they shouldn't be, but if they are a bit of adrenaline, a bit of, there's no bigger game in English football.
Look back to 6 weeks ago when they beat us in the pre-season friendly.
Yeah.
And they've got, look, we're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
But we shall
see.
We shall watch and see.
Yeah. Quick fantasy before we go.
Yeah, fancy football. So at the moment we have started the fancy football. We've got the Premier League one. I know they mentioned the draft one, but that's more of an in-house, little bit of a friendly thing for the guys in Dubai. I'm not actually doing too bad. 6 points last week.
I got 6 something, but I think I'm still down.
So we set one up for my friends back home. It's called the White Lightning Bowling Green League.
Bowling.
That was every Saturday night through my youth. White Lightning Bowling Green. But Sporting Jibberish. At the top is Gabriel Bichette, 2 goals, 1 cup. At the moment, 165 points. Havertz Rent-A-Car got 87 points and looks like they would have been the weekly winner with 87 points.
We need to get back onto that. I'm just negotiating a sponsor for the weekly
so we're looking at that. So it looks like they're currently top, but as it stands...
I'm 66th.
I'm 23rd.
115 points, anyway.
132 points.
I'm
on 132, 165 for top, so I'm 30 points behind top.
I had a bad start last week.
Did you see, I know you mentioned this, did you see the person triple captained?
Max Patrick, triple captained Haaland, first game.
Oh no, there was somebody that triple captained somebody in the first match. Who was the Friday night game?
Arsenal,
triple captained Zinchenko on the first game of the season. Who does that? Who does that? Well, to be fair, if you wanted to start off on the top of the league, there you go.
Yeah, so at least you've been top.
Yeah.
That's us done. We're going to go and do some brainstorming.
Yes, I think so. Brainstorming by the bar, I think, is
sounds
good
in
order.
Because at the end of the day,
What do we know?